Start with non-hydraulic lime. This is often referred to as air lime, as it sets through a process known as carbonation. Now, I will show you the process of carbonation a bit easier in a minute, but carbonation is essentially reabsorbing all of the CO2 which is driven off during the manufacturing process. Now, non-hydraulic limes, they have a slower and softer set, so you're generally looking at a weaker mortar. Non-hydraulic limes come in two forms. You have lime putty, which you can see at the bottom here, and then we also have quicklime, which is used to what a lot of people are now referring to as hot mix mortars. But what we're looking at is the lime cycle. So we start with our limestone or calcium carbonate. This is then burnt, and this is where all that CO2 is driven off initially. This leaves us with a product known as quicklime or calcium oxide. Now, calcium oxide is extremely reactive. So as soon as you add water to it, it will start to heat up and looks to expand. Now, to create a lime putty, what we do is that we add water to it, but we store it in an excess of water. So basically, because it relies on reabsorbing the CO2 to set, if you store it underwater, it will never be able to set as it cannot reabsorb the CO2. So given enough time, say 3 or 4 months, this slaking process, or basically storing it in this water, then allows it to form a putty consistency. This putty is then taken and added to sand and aggregate, and then you create a mortar. Now, for a hot mix, what we do is we take the quicklime, and rather than storing it in an excess of water, we add the water and sand at site, and then this creates a mortar. Both work on the same process. Both are trying to release that water that was sort of added and reabsorb the CO2 that was driven off in this early stage. And this is how you get your set. And the reason it's a very slow set is this reabsorption of CO2 takes a long time. You get this initial firming, if done correctly, within a few days or a week, but the actual process of reabsorbing the CO2 can take months, if not a couple of years. So it is a much softer and slower material to work with.